Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Fanwood Borough Council. This is the regular monthly meeting for the month of October. Mayor Marr is not with us tonight. She has other business to attend to. I'm Council President Tom Kranz, sitting in for the mayor. I hereby announce and request that such be included in the minutes of this meeting. That notice of the time, place, and date of this meeting has been prominently posted on the bulletin board at Fanwood Borough Hall, mailed to the Times, the Star Ledger, Courier News, and the alternate press by January 10th, 2019, filed with the Borough Clerk, and mailed to any person requesting the same in accordance with the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act. I'd like to ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to ask everybody to remain standing and observe one moment of silence for a person or a cause that means something to you. Thank you very much. Mrs. McGovern, may we have a roll call, please?
Jeffrey Banks, Anthony Carter, Tom Krantz,
Here.
Erin McElroy-Walker,
Here.
Catherine Mitchell,
Here.
Patricia Walsh,
Here.
Colleen Moore.
Thank you. We have a lot of people in the audience today. That's nice to see. We have lots of presentations and proclamations. Good to see citizens and their families here tonight, so we will get to it shortly. First, we have to review and approve minutes of two meetings, our regular meeting of September 16th and our agenda meeting of October 7th. Do I have a motion to approve those meetings?
So moved.
Do I have
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Those meetings are approved, and off we go with our appointments and our presentations. I'd like to ask Councilwoman Walsh to join me at the podium for one of them. This is the best part of the meeting, so I'm glad you all came for it. So the mayor called me tonight from she's going to her next destination, and she wanted to make sure that I said to everybody how lucky we are to have the people in this room here tonight, all the volunteers who are observing tonight and who are honoring. We're going to begin with four ladies who are actually retiring from a job that has gone largely, well, not largely, I should say, maybe unheralded over the years, but we're going to herald you tonight. This is the Fanwood Garden Club, and we'd like those ladies to step forward, please. Those of you who are here, Mary Kelly, Eileen Morris, Millie Archeski, and Suzanne Jacobs. Well, three of you are here anyway.
Suzanne is probably lost.
Oh, she's lost? It's a 1 square mile town.
Yes.
All right. And I have Councilwoman Walsh here. The Fanwood Garden Club, and I'm just going to tell you just a little bit here before Councilwoman Walsh speaks. For more than a decade, most of the ladies here have done work that has really helped make our downtown what it is today. And you've all seen a lot of the publicity of how great our downtown has become over the last 15, 16 years. These ladies in this group has helped make it so. They have planted the annuals and the flowers in the planters along Martine Avenue in our downtown, on the train station, the North Side train station parking lot, and other little places that I'm probably not fully aware of. But you've done that for, let's see, some of you as long as 13 years. Suzanne did it for 6, more than 45 years of combined service, and they've done it as volunteers. And we really appreciate that. And tonight I've got little service certificates for each of you, but first I think Councilwoman Walsh wants to say something about, you know one of these ladies here, right, Trish?
I do. So again, thank you so much for all your work over the years, and I have to say that I know I am not alone in saying that I love to go downtown and see all the beautiful plantings and trees and flowers that you do, and it really does make a big difference. And Miss Mary Kelly here has been my neighbor for over 20 years, actually one of the first people that I met when I came to Fanwood, and I just want to say thank you especially for all your work. And so what I would like to know is, do we have replacements for you ladies, or we have to put out a call?
Well, I think the mayor might be working on it.
Good, good,
And
because we don't want this, great.
Because we don't want it to last.
Exactly, which
After
is,
13, 14 years, we want it to continue.
Yes.
Out of all the positive feedback that we've gotten, people passing on the street, even stopping at the light, rolling down the window.
Right.
So this is definitely something that should continue, and if anybody wants to start another group, please feel free to do that, call the mayor and volunteer. Now, there may be a couple options, and I'd like to thank Dale Flowers. I'd like to thank Dale Flowers for all of his help, and I'd like to thank two gals that started with us way back, they're no longer with us, Barbara Deegan and Sue Turista. So we all started 14 years ago. My first notes are from September 2006. So it's been a long run, and here comes Suzanne right now.
Come on up.
She did make it, and we all have enjoyed doing it and being together, so I thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Tricia.
Okay, don't go anywhere, just So on behalf of the Borough of Fanwood, we have these little certificates for each of you. I'm just going to read it. This is a certificate of civic recognition, and it says, and this is signed by Mayor Marr, a community cannot sustain itself without the civic dedication that nourishes its existence. This one is for Mary Kelly. There's one for each one of you in recognition of outstanding service rendered to the community of Fanwood for her outstanding service in planning, implementing, and facilitating the beautification of Fanwood's downtown, dated on this 21st day of October 2019, and there's one for each of you. Thank you so very much for everything that you've done over the years. This one's yours. Millie, there you go. Eileen. And latecomer. All right. Next, we have our Volunteer of the Month, and I'd like Mary Everson from the Fanwood Library Board of Trustees to please step on up. Hello. I've seen you on Facebook, but I haven't seen you in person. It's nice to meet you. Mary Everson is a member of the Fanwood Library Board of Trustees, coming off this year's book sale. And how much did we raise this year?
13,000.
Wow. That's awesome.
But it's the most that we've
Yeah, that's excellent. Fantastic, that's great. As we all know, the Fanwood Library is probably one of our most important public resources in town. There's so much that goes on at the library. I could stand here for the next hour and just reel off the different programs that go on there for all ages. Currently, and Mary knows more about this, there's a rebuilding project that is, we're hoping to get the funding for that. As I'm going to read to you shortly from a nice long note that Dan put together about Mary, the voters of Fanwood approved a grant to apply for a chunk of $125 million grant for library improvements, hopefully rebuilding. We're at the point now, I think, where we're going to start applying for that, and we're hoping to get, the money we need to make that library go from a little library to a bigger, more beautiful library. Matching funds, right? Exactly. So let me read you what Dan Weiss, our library director, wrote about Mary. Mary has been an invaluable member of the Library Board of Trustees since 2016 and has served as secretary and on the Public Relations Committee. She's been active in lobbying the New Jersey legislature to help gain support for the New Jersey Library Construction Bond Act that was approved by voters in 2017. Fan will be making an application for those matching funds this fall to support the new library building project. Before joining the board, Mary was an active and dedicated library volunteer who, for the first time in the summer of 1999, helped the library formulate and host Dragon Tales, a free drama workshop for children entering 4th through 9th grades. The program was often supported with funding from Union County Arts Grant, and 38 youngsters took part in the 4-week program that first year, which was directed by Mary and her partner, Ann Minsky, who now also serves on the Board of Trustees as president. The program ran every summer under their leadership for over 12 years and presented a variety of well-produced and well-received dramas, original works, a Shakespeare Reader's Theater, and more. Mary has lived in Fanwood with her family since 1993, along with her husband John and her daughters Emily and Rosie. I have a sister named Rosie. She has always placed a premium on literacy and the arts and started teaching when she was in a book club with a professor from Union County Community College. Boy, he knows a lot about you. Should I keep reading? Who needed adjunct professors to teach public speaking. With a background in theater from Ithaca College and New York University, she thought she'd be able to teach some of the skills she learned on the stage. Mary loved teaching at UCC because students saw the education as a priority and were interested in the material. At UCC, she fell in love with the classroom and decided to get her teaching degree from the College of St. Elizabeth in 2009 and was hired to teach English at the North Plainfield Alternative High School in 2012. She retired from her teaching career after teaching English at the Cornerstone Day School for Students with Special Needs in 2016, but she has stayed with us as a member of the Board of Trustees since then, much to our benefit. We really appreciate everything you've done, and I thank you for that. And as our volunteer of the month, we get our traditional token of appreciation. Step in front of the podium here, which is our traditional print of our historic train station. And this is where we pose for the camera and smile. Anything you'd like to say to your fans here? Here, step in front of the microphone. Here, I'll hold this for you.
I'll be brief. I'll try. No, but I love our library, I love our town, and I just want to remind people that the services, while they may get paid for in other ways, libraries are free, and the program that Ann and I directed for at least 12 years was free for all those kids every summer, and we're very proud of it. So.
And this comes as we have a proclamation for National Friends of Libraries Week, which is this week actually, October 20th through 26th. And this proclamation was signed by Mayor Marr, and this is for you also. Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for all you did. Okay, Chief Piccola, come on down. We've already passed National Fire Prevention Week, but we don't care, because anytime I get to share space with our volunteer fire department, it's a good time for me. Chief Piccola has been our chief for how many years?
8 now, and then
But before that, you've been a fireman here forever.
since 1990.
National Fire Prevention Week was observed this year, October 6th through October 12th. And whereas this year's theme is Close Your Door, and whereas some key messages from our firemen are draw a map of your home, practice your drill 2 times a year, plan 2 ways out. When you stay out, be sure house number is visible to firemen. That's important to the rescue squad too, especially at night. You get an address. If there's no address on the house and it's dark, it takes that much longer to find the right house. Whereas around 1989, a person had about 17 minutes to escape a burning home. Today, a person has about 3 minutes to escape safely due to new home layouts, construction materials, and furnishings. And whereas half of all United States home fire deaths occur at night between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. when people are most likely to be sleeping. So one preventive action would be to close your bedroom door to help slow the spread of fire. Hence the theme, Close Your Door. There's a whole other list of things as part of this proclamation, but one of my favorites that I don't think is even listed here is what happens in my house all the time when I cook. And when I cook, I make lots of smoke, and it always sets off the smoke detector. And the first thing I do is I push the button now that makes the smoke detector go off. And Dave Zawodniak, your assistant chief, says you should drill it into your kids that even when mom or dad push that button to make the smoke detector off, you should drill it into their brains that they should at least ask, is there a fire, or they should check to see if there's a fire. Because if they get into the habit of turning off the smoke detector when there's smoke, when there's a real fire, they may just think there's not a fire. So that was actually
That's a good idea.
one of the smartest things that Dave Zwadniak's ever told me. So I just wanted to say to John and on behalf of the whole fire department, thanks for everything you guys do. We appreciate having a really great volunteer fire department, and I want to give you guys this proclamation. I don't know if you have anything to say. I don't want to put you on the spot.
I will
but,
say, just
say
one
it,
thing real quick.
Sure.
I want to thank the mayor and council, the mayor's not here, for all your support. You know, this is a very busy time of year for us. We have guys who spend hours and hours going to the schools or having children come to our firehouse teaching. Now, this job is not only about answering the bell when it rings. This job is about these little guys in front, teaching them. I can't tell you how many hours and hours Doug Germinder's got over 20 years. Chris, my son Chris Picola, he's got over 15 years of going to schools, going to the daycares, getting them when they're little, so they're not afraid. And they, you know, they put a face with the name, and it's been really, really good. Ken Gorman's another one. He's been spending hours and hours. The Cub Scouts come to him. They come to the firehouse. But you guys give us support, and we've always said that you give us the tools, and we'll take care of the job. Support is a huge tool. We appreciate it. The town appreciates it, and we'll continue to do it as long as you continue to help us out and support us.
Thank you very much.
Tom, before you go on, may I say
Yes,
something?
please.
John,
Yes, ma'am.
another thing, just so that people know, you were at the senior citizens this morning.
I was at the seniors today.
Okay, so not only are you teaching children, you are reminding
Well,
adults.
we did a real refresher for the seniors today, and it was it went really well, I think.
Yeah, but I think people need to be reminded periodically that you have to, when that smoke detector beeps, you can't just let it keep beeping. You have
Right,
to,
I mean,
you have to
it-
change that
It
battery.
may beep for a couple of reasons, and I should have said this, and I apologize. It may beep because it's telling you that the battery's getting low. It may beep because there's a smoke condition. It may beep just telling you that the lifespan of
Chief,
this.
sorry, but for the people at home, would you
I
mind?
apologize. I apologize. 2 more minutes and I'll.
Get over it.
Your smoke detector may beep for a few reasons. It could be a small smoke condition if Councilman Krantz or Council President Krantz is cooking for you. But if your smoke detector battery is going bad, it's going to send out a beep, maybe every 30 seconds, maybe once a minute. It's going to be annoying, and then sooner or later it's going to stop. And it's only going to stop because that battery's dead. It's not going to help you on your ceiling if that battery's dead. It also may be just telling you that it's time to change me. Carbon monoxide detectors are good for about 5 years. That carbon monoxide detector is going to start to beep once a minute. Hey, I'm getting old. Just pay attention to me. So it's really important. If it beeps, it's making noise, call 911. The fire department will come out, we'll check it, and then we'll leave it up to you and let you know it needs to be replaced. You've got to change the batteries. But we're here for you. You know, don't hesitate to call. We'll always come. I apologize for that.
All right, and finally, we have a proclamation tonight for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and let it be known that the Borough of Fanwood is pleased to recognize and observe October 13th specifically as Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day, and we hereby recognize Medavivors of New Jersey as the first state chapter of Medavivor Research and Support Incorporated. And to explain what all that means, we have with us tonight Lauren O'Brien, who is co-founder of Medavivors of New Jersey. She's an advocate for survivors of metastatic breast cancer. Lauren, you've been here before. Come up again and just give us kind of a brief primer on what that
Sure
means.
thing. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I was here in May because it was National Cancer Research Month. What's important about that was bringing attention to the fact that a lot of money goes to breast cancer research. A lot of money. Very little of that money goes to stage 4 treatment research. 115 people a day die from metastatic breast cancer. A day, that's like an airplane falling from the sky. It is not curable. There's something very wrong there because there's a lot of money, there's a lot of attention to the disease. We don't understand why that is. But we do know that there's some excellent researchers out there and a lot of opportunities for grants to go to these researchers. Medavivor puts 100% of all donations to stage 4 treatment. I had the honor a couple weeks ago going down to Washington, D.C., with about 250 other, mostly patients, also advocates. I am not a survivor or a patient of metastatic breast cancer. I co-founded this group with my friend Tammy Bowling, who discovered after a boot camp class and a regular mammogram at age 41 that she had de novo breast cancer, and that means that it spread from her breast to her liver. I met far too many women a couple weeks ago who are going to die under the age of 40. It actually is the #1 cause of disease for women under 40 today. Most women I talk to were under that age. No matter what age you are, you need to be around. And right now the life expectancy is only 2 to 3 years. Just to say how important research is, my friend Tammy wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for the fact that the drug that she's on came out 3 months before she was diagnosed. So there's only a 2 to 5% rate of research dollars going to that treatment right now. So we exist on Facebook, Metavirus of New Jersey. We are there for advocacy and action. For example, we just had Congress members help us pass what they signed on to bills so that one of them is so that metastatic breast cancer patients have access to Social Security disability insurance, because right now they're on a 2-year waiting period. And like I said, what the life expectancy is, that's not realistic. Another one is so that they can take oral chemotherapy the same as in IV chemotherapy. They can actually treat themselves at home, so that's equally covered on insurance. So there's a lot of things we're always doing. One of them is for Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day, and our colors are pink, teal, and green, not just pink. So thank you for having us, and I will make sure I take this back to the group, which is about 450 members now. And we were founded in April this year. Oh, I'm so sorry. I want to mention Melissa Matina over there, whose mom also has a disease, and she is invaluable to the group and always volunteering, and we always need the help. Last thing I want to say is, we need people more than ever who don't have the disease. We need people to carry the torch. We need people, this needs to be a movement, and we need to drop that number of deaths per day.
All right, back to the podium. Thank you all. We have one more proclamation for the month. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and Councilwoman Walsh will read that proclamation into the record.
National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, October 2019. Whereas home should be a place of warmth, unconditional love, and tranquility, and whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy and dignity, security, and humanity due to systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse, including abuse to children and the elderly. And whereas abuse is never okay, it's about power, control, and restricting the rights and freedom of another person. And whereas the problems of domestic violence are not confined to any group of people, but cut across all economic, racial, and societal barriers, and are supported by societal indifference. And whereas more than 10 million men and women fall victim to domestic abuse each year, and at least 33 homicides are linked to domestic violence. And whereas the impact of domestic violence is wide-ranging, directly affecting individuals and society as a whole, here in this community, throughout the United States and the world. And whereas some of the signs of abuse are frequent absences, unexplained bruises, and social isolation. And whereas the Fanwood Police Department is participating in the Union County Regional Domestic Violence Response Team. Therefore, Colleen Marr, Mayor of the Borough of Fanwood, proclaims the month of October to be National Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the borough in recognition of the important work done by domestic violence programs, and urges all citizens to actively participate in the scheduled activities and programs working toward improving victim safety and holding perpetrators of domestic abuse accountable for their actions against individual victims and our society as a whole.
Thank you, Councilwoman Walsh. Under presentation of communications, we have a letter from resident Michael Lewis, who we've read into the record. We discussed at the agenda meeting. This involves the ongoing discussion of a proposal to change the election date for the Board of Ed and the school budget from November to April. I think we discussed at the agenda meeting the fact that this has to be discussed among the Scotch Plains Council because it's a joint school board, and we also talked about opening a discussion with the new superintendent of schools. And we are noting and filing the 2 letters, one about Snuffy's becoming a supermarket and one about the Choose to Reuse campaign. Have to do anything else other than that on there? Just you have to move it. So do I have a motion to move those?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Our committee reports begin with me, an adoption of the tax collector's report. This is the report for the month of September. For the month of September, we collected $1,610,667.79 for a cumulative total of $26,432,875.94.
Second.
Do we read a roll call for this?
Yes.
We had a movement, we had a second, I moved, second over here. Is this a roll call?
No.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. And I guess that's the only business I have at this moment under, let's see. Okay, so Councilman Carter, Public Safety, what you got?
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Sir, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we have the monthly report from our Fanwood Police Department for the month of September 2019. Total calls for police assistance for our CAD system, 1,094. Total calls for police assistance through the 911 terminal, there was 1. Motor vehicle stops for various violations, 425. Total number of summonses issued, 340. Motor vehicle moving violation summonses, 46. Non-moving violations, 224. Parking summonses, 70. DWI, there were 0. Total adult arrest, 4. And they were arrest on warrants, all 4. Total juvenile arrest, 0, thankfully. Total crimes reported, 12. They were thefts or larceny, 3. Burglary, 1. Harassment, 5. Criminal mischief, 2. And fraud, 1. And that concludes the monthly report from our Fanwood Police Department for the month of September 2019.
Anything else, Councilman?
I guess I can add, also from the Fanwood Police Department, the 2020 parking permit sales started October 15th, Fanwood residents renewals, and October 22nd, Fanwood residents non-renewals, tomorrow. And then on October 29th, Scotch Plains residents renewals. And on November 4th, Scotch Plains residents non-renewals. All right, the application link you can find on our Fanwood Police Department website. Thank you.
All right, very good, Councilman, thanks. Public Works Committee, Councilwoman Mitchell.
Thank you. As I said before, the seniors had their meeting this morning, and John Piccola, our fire chief, was there and brought them all up to date on basically what he just explained to everyone here. The seniors will be meeting again next Monday. Don't usually meet 2 Mondays in a row, but somehow with Columbus Day, things got mixed up. So they will be meeting again next week. They are going to be having a fitness instructor who will also supply lunch. And I want to make something very clear. In order to come to the senior club meetings, you don't have to be you don't have to be a member of the club. If you see something advertised on Channel 35 and it appeals to you, you can just come and be a guest for the day. So I know I know Michael Lewis has been putting everything up on Channel 35 for us, so that's a good step. Let me see, Public Works. Well, besides all of their usual stuff, and if I read all of this usual stuff, we'd be here probably for 20 minutes. They're one of the departments that we kind of take for granted, except when they don't do their job, then we hear about it. But just some statistics, the annual bulk pickup, they finished that, and they, let me see. They collected junk from 374 households. And the total amount of that was $12,737.56. Now, this is very interesting. The tonnage from August 22nd, excuse me, until October 3rd was 576.96 tons of recyclables that they collected. And he has a note here in bold. Tonnage for 2019 is 28.45 tons more than the tonnage reported in the same time last year. So I guess this means that Fanwood is recycling more and more. And they are picking up leaves now, so, and he has asked that please, please, please don't put the sticks and the brush in with the leaves. If you have to put that to the side of the curb, don't mix it in with the leaves, because it breaks the machine and then it slows everything down. I think that's pretty much it. Let me see. I warned you last month, council people.
Crop walk.
Collecting for the crop walk.
Tonight?
I gave you a month's notice.
See us after the meeting.
Okay, that concludes our, my report.
Okay, Councilwoman Mitchell, thank you. Councilman Banks is absent tonight. Recreation and Community Services Committee, Councilwoman McElroy Barker.
Yes. Okay. So, I don't know if any of you guys were trapped in your driveways this Sunday, or couldn't go down Martine Avenue or King Street or someplace, and were thoroughly annoyed. But this Sunday was our Fanwood 5K Fright Fest and Little Monsters Fun Run, which is now several years old. I usually am there, and I was out of town, so unfortunately I couldn't get there, but I did hear it was great.
I was there.
How was it?
I stood in for you.
Thank you. I needed somebody too. The weather held. Yes, so that's great. Were there lots of fun costumes?
Lots of fun costumes. I'll share some pictures with you.
Oh, good, okay. So I don't have the breakdown, but this is the largest fundraising event for the Recreation Commission every year, which funds a lot of recreational activities around town. So it's a big deal for the group, and so hopefully the fundraising has been going well. It's been going up the last couple of years, but most importantly, we like it to be a great community event and have people come out. So that was this past weekend. And then, of course, Thursday, October 31st, is the Halloween Parade and Costume Contest that lands in the Grand Park, but starts at the library at 6 o'clock. There's some pictures, and the parade line starts up, and the parade starts, and then they march their way to the Grand Park, where there's a very competitive costume contest. Somehow everyone manages to get a ticket. But anyway, it's lots of fun, and there's donuts, and last year we even had garlic knots for like the first 10 people who showed up, and coffee and cider and donuts. And so it's really a nice, fun community event. It's probably one of the reasons I decided to stay in Fanwood So hopefully the weather will hold, please come out. And even if you're an adult, sometimes it's fun to watch the adults come out in costume as well. So those are the two big things. Rec Commission did meet on September 24th. We had one of the engineers or architects, what are they? From CME. Gary Oliva came and reviewed a couple proposals with the Rec Commission for some revised Forest Road Park renovation proposals. It has been modified a few times to meet a couple demands, including the budget and saving some trees. And then changing interests from handball to what probably will end up being pickleball. So we're not copying Scotch Plains, just to put that out there. It was our idea first, we were just quiet about it. So anyway, he's gone off to price our most recent revision of that plan, and we're pretty hopeful that with the grant money we have, that we will be able to move forward with this project now that all of the environmental stuff is resolved. So,
Cool.
so that's good. So I guess we'll move forward with that. And the only other thing is obviously the holiday celebration. I will probably announce this a couple more times. Is Sunday, December 8th. They get a big tent. It's usually on the front lawn in front of the train station. It's also a great fun event for the kiddies, and they get to meet Santa, and there's usually cocoa and treats and crafts and stuff. So if you want to put that on your calendar, it's December 8th from 3 to 5. And I think that's all I got tonight.
Good, thank you very much. And finally, Health and Senior Citizens Committee, Councilwoman Walsh.
All right, thank you. For the fire department, we have 20 calls for September. One of them was a house fire on North Avenue, and the fire was contained to the residency, and everyone was fine. Another was the fire department had to assist the county to remove a patient from the Chelsea. The patient apparently was stuck in a bathroom, and they had to cut down half of the door to get them out, so thank you for that help. And then I also have the report for the Board of Health. So we met on October 3rd, and as Councilwoman Mitchell said, if I went through all of the things that are discussed at those meetings, I'd be here for a long time. But one of the most important things that was discussed at this last meeting was electronic smoking devices, and I'm sure everyone has heard about this almost daily in the news. So the Board of Health is considering at their meeting in December to vote on whether to establish an ordinance in Fanwood which would charge a licensing fee to better regulate sales. So there are currently 4 establishments in Fanwood that sell electronic smoking devices. We don't currently have any licensing fee, so that would be what the ordinance was for. And even with that, the research has shown that regulating electronic smoking devices is a good start. And in Summit, Westfield, Chatham, and Roselle Park, they have all agreed to an ordinance similar to the one in Morristown, which will heavily regulate how and where these products can be sold. So that's the big news for the Board of Health coming up in December. And then I just wanted to add that the Board of Health is autonomous. It has the same powers as the council. So when it comes to introducing or adopting ordinances or resolutions, they do consult with the mayor and the council when there is a new ordinance, and then the borough attorney would review it, and then we could go forward with that if all were in agreement. So we will wait until December to see the outcome of that meeting.
What, other than vaping devices being sold to people 21 and over, what additional regulations or restrictions are they talking about?
The biggest one is the licensing fee. So some of the municipalities have licensing fees that were rather nominal. And so some towns have increased those in hopes that perhaps the business would then choose not to sell those items. However, that seems to not have worked as well as they thought in the larger towns what the businesses then did was go to the companies, and the companies paid the licensing fee, even if it was increased by a lot. So that didn't really help. So I think they're looking to really heavily regulate how and where these products can be sold, and that would be done by an ordinance.
And they're taking this up again in December?
Yes.
Okay.
Does the Board of Health, are they the ones responsible for the dog, the rabies shots? The
Yes.
clinic, the dog clinic? Did we miss that, or has it yet to come?
I think we had it already.
Oh, okay.
This coming Monday.
Oh,
Oh, this
I'm sorry. Monday, is it? It is?
Monday, 5:30 to 6:30 at the Grand Park.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You taking your dogs?
No,
Oh, okay.
they've had their rabies.
You know, is there some discussion at the Board of Health about businesses independently making decisions? For instance, I was in ShopRite today and they're no longer selling e-cigarettes. I believe Walmart has stopped
And so did
them.
Walgreens also.
So basically, large businesses are,
Yeah, I think
are
it's-
sort of able to opt out in
Yes,
a way. But they're
right.
doing that on their own.
Yes.
Okay.
But, I mean, I think that perhaps come December, when this discussion resumes, we would, or the Board of Health would contact the 4 places in Fanwood and see what their thoughts are regarding an ordinance or a licensing fee or whatever might happen with that. And that's all I have.
Okay, Councilwoman.
Thank
No special committee reports this evening. Presentation of claims, that's me. I move claims in the amount of $4,384,540.41, having been listed on the bill list and recorded in the files of the Borough Hall and approved by the chairman of the appropriate committee, be paid.
Second.
All in favor? Roll call vote, sorry, I knew that.
Tom Krantz,
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Erin McElroy-Balker,
Yes.
Patricia Walsh.
Yes.
Motion carried.
At this time, I'll take a motion to open the floor to the, no auditing of claims, correct, this time? This time, I'll take a motion to open the floor to the public for agenda items only. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any members of the public wish to come forward to just talk about agenda items tonight? Anybody? Anybody? Seeing no members of the public stepping forward, I'll have a motion to close the floor to the public.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to old business. That starts with me again. And I'm calling up for second reading ordinance number 1915S and request that the clerk, having produced affidavit of publication, also read the ordinance by title, please.
An ordinance of the Borough of Fanwood, County of Union, and State of New Jersey, amending the Open Space Recreation, Floodplain Protection, and Farmland Historic Preservation Trust Fund pursuant to NJSA 40:12-5.7.
I move that a public hearing be held on said ordinance.
Second.
And this is the ordinance that I believe we're removed, this is the one where we're removing the expiration date, correct, on the open space ordinance?
Make it
Permanent.
But we can change that anytime we want, correct?
Yes.
Any members of the public want to comment on that? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, I move that the public hearing be closed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
In that case, I move that this ordinance be adopted on second reading and final passage, and if adopted, be published as required by law. Need a second?
Second. Second.
And may we have a roll call, please?
Tom Krantz,
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Erin McElroy-Balker,
Yes.
Patricia Walsh.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Tonight, we have one item on the consent agenda. This was Resolution 1910-166 in support of, we had a discussion about this at the agenda meeting in our support of the extreme risk legislation. I move that we move this.
We adopt it.
That we adopt it, sorry.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Moving on to new business. And again, it's me. Moving Resolution 1910-167. This is the settlement of the tax appeal by Sandberg Enterprises Incorporated, Block 56, Lot 1.
Second.
We have a roll call vote, please.
Tom Krantz?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Erin Macaroni-Balker?
Yes.
Patricia Walsh?
Yes.
The motion carried.
I move Resolution 1910-168. This is to renew our shared services agreement with Union Township for a qualified purchasing agent. This is our shared services agreement, which expires at the end of the month. We're simply renewing it for another year.
Second.
Can we have a roll call, please?
Tom Krantz?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Erin Macaroni-Balker?
Yes.
Patricia Walsh?
Yes.
Motion carried.
This next resolution requires a little bit of a preamble. Our borough clerk, Eleanor McGovern, who sits right here after 35 years of service to our town, is retiring at the end of this year, much to our chagrin. More about that in subsequent meetings over the next couple of months. But in the meantime, we are hiring a company to take on the task of filling her very large shoes. And Resolution 1910-169 will award a contract to a company called Government Strategy Group to begin that task.
Second.
Oh, sorry.
We have a roll call vote, please.
Tom Krantz?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Erin Macaroni-Balker?
Yes.
Patricia Walsh?
Yes.
Motion carried.
And at this point, I introduce ordinance number 1916S and request the title to be read by the clerk.
A bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 17-13S, finally adopted by the Borough Council of the Borough of Fanwood, New Jersey, on September 5th, 2017.
I move that ordinance number 1916S be adopted on first reading, and if adopted, that the clerk advertise the ordinance as required by law, and that the second reading of said ordinance be held at a public hearing at Borough Hall, 75 North Martine Avenue, Fanwood, New Jersey, on November 18th, 2019 at 7 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the matter can be heard. Okay, and I need a second?
Second.
So Fred, I don't want you to feel unloved. Can you just give us kind of the Reader's Digest version of why we're doing this?
We're doing this because the original ordinance from 2017 was our TAP grant, which is the grant for the streetscape on South Avenue.
This is the grant for $900-some thousand that we received,
$800,000.
correct? Right? Bless you.
What this ordinance does, it amends that, because reflecting the fact that the state is giving us additional funds over and above the 802 to do the design work. And we need to appropriate that money by amending the ordinance. It's another $325,000 they're giving us for that. And we're also appropriating money for the, another $100,000 for the inspection, which at this point is on us, but they indicated to us that if we apply for it, they'll probably give us a grant for that as well.
So the bottom line is we have to get more money because we have to front these funds,
Right.
but we will get them back by getting additional grant money, which is why we're
We
doing this.
have to pay the vendor and then we get reimbursed.
Correct. Okay. So we've moved it, we've had a second. This is just a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, Councilman Carter, you have a resolution to move?
Yes.
I move Resolution 19-10-170, authorizing the purchase of new radios and accessory equipment for our Fanwood Police Department.
Second.
May we have a roll call vote, please, Mrs. McGovern?
Anthony Carter?
Yes.
Catherine Mitchell?
Yes.
Tom Krantz?
Yes.
Erin Macaroni-Balker?
Yes.
Patricia Walsh?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Councilwoman Mitchell, you have two resolutions for us tonight?
Yes. I move Resolution 19-110-171, and this is to award a contract to Stillo, okay, for the work on Patterson Road and Ridgeway. We received 4 people applied, and we had to, of course, take the lowest estimate. So That estimate was $629,156.19, and they were the lowest. So the award goes to them.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a roll call, please?
Kevin Mitchell,
Yes.
Erin Barker,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Tom Krantz.
Yes.
Tricia Walsh.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I move Resolution 19-110-172, and this is to award a contract to Messer Cola Leaf Transport for for this year for taking our leaves and disposing of them properly. And they were the only people who bid, so.
Second.
May we have a roll call, please?
Kevin Mitchell,
Yes.
Erin Barker,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Tom Krantz,
Yes.
Tricia Walsh.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Councilman Banks isn't here tonight, but I guess I'll move Resolution 1910-173. This awards contract to Triplex Industries for community house improvements. This is the improvements to the baseboard,
Community house
correct?
outside and.
Yeah, of the north,
Protect the building.
The North Avenue train station, right.
No, we discussed it at agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the low bid there. The mayor wanted me to follow up on that to
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure everything checked out.
Oh, yeah, and
I looked at the references, or I called one of them,
so we're happy?
and, yep, seems good.
So the low bid is the low bid.
The low bid,
It's
Okay.
really a variation in that one, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
Like from low to high, it's,
That's why we checked it
crazy.
out.
that's why we did a little due
The architect
diligence
did
on
too.
this.
The architect did too.
Right.
We checked it out.
Okay. Okay, so we need a second on this?
Second.
And a roll call, please.
Tom Krantz,
Yes.
Kevin Mitchell,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Erin Barker,
yes.
Tricia Walsh.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And finally, Councilwoman Walsh, you have one resolution for us.
Resolution 19-10-174. This is to award a contract for plug-in electric station in the Fanwood Municipal Parking Lot behind the Martine Avenue stores. Two other bidders were late in submitting their bids. And that's that.
There you have it.
There you have it.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Tricia Walsh,
Yes.
Kevin Mitchell,
Yes.
Anthony Carter,
Yes.
Erin Barker,
Oh, yes.
Tom Krantz.
Yes.
Quiet for once.
Motion carried.
Cool.
It's just not loud.
All right, at this time, I'll take a motion to open the floor to the public.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any members of the public who wish to come forward, please step to the podium, give your name and address, please. Anybody? Anybody? Hello.
Carol Campbell, 72 Watson Road. Just wanted to publicly thank all the people who supported the book sale, meaning Clint Dixon and his staff, who we couldn't do this without his cooperation, and all the Public Works people. Pat Hoynes, who was also very supportive. Bob Budiansky, who allows us to use that building, and we tie it up for 2 weeks, which means, they don't get some revenue some days. But it's truly a community event. It's just, it runs itself now, more or less. And we have incredible volunteers, some of whom would like to have come tonight, but are, of course, busy with other organizations that they're volunteering for. So anyway, thank you for your support over the years. It's our, I don't know, it's our 30th sale or something like that. It's just amazing what has happened, so thank you
And
very
Mary
much.
said this was the most that they ever got in? 13,000
Very
plus?
close, very
Yeah.
close to 13, very close to
Wow,
13.
great.
Yeah, so we're really pleased considering, what publishing is going through.
Mm.
But Scotch Plains has lost their muscle for their book sale, so they're only gonna do children's books and DVDs.
Wow.
So I guess that means we'll get their hardbounds next year, but that's fine. We
I
still
guess you
have-
need some more volunteers and maybe a bigger
We
building,
do,
right?
we do, we always need volunteers.
That room is full.
Yeah.
You really
Oh my
can't
God,
fit
yes.
much more.
I know, I heard there was gonna be some addition, we can't wait on if there's.
No,
No?
sorry.
Oh,
The building
gee.
is not in the current plan.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, all right, well, anyway, thank you very much.
Maybe in 10
Thank
years.
you, good, and congratulations on the book sale. Any other members of the public wish to address the council? State your name and your address, please.
Gary Morris, 405 South Avenue. First off, Fanwood 5K, that was awesome. I think back, I think I ran in 2000 or 2001. CompuScore has deleted that 1 year for some reason, so there's no proof, but I did run faster than my son, I swear. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. So bravo to everybody that was involved with that. Okay, so essentially, I've been on a little bit of a journey. So about 2000, I think it was 2017, my parents needed a place to relocate. What better place than bring them to Fanwood, New Jersey? And they came here. Moved into Fanwood Crossing. So I have a very unique perspective in the fact that I'm a homeowner here, and my mom, my dad passed away unfortunately last year. My mom rents at Fanwood Crossing. When my dad was alive, he needed to go to physical therapy right there at Kessler, and unfortunately, and it takes things like this in life to sometimes really see things through the eyes of people who aren't as physically able as you are. You go through your life just moving about and you don't see it until you're walking with it with a parent. And he had great difficulty coming out of Fanwood Crossing and going to the physical therapy place. The paver stones there are just not good for using a walker. So what he would do, I would have to walk with him in the middle of the parking lot. And I really don't think we want our seniors walking through the middle of the parking lot. So I know on the front of Fanwood Crossing, they have...
Which street are you speaking about?
It's Fanwood Crossing 1, which is Railside Cafe building. So on the front of that building, they have the concrete, so you can, it's smooth. Unfortunately, the entrance for the residents is not. And coincidentally, even tonight, coming in here, you push a button, the door's open. It is a wonderful thing. And even able-bodied, I'm bringing groceries. I shop for my mom. That would be an amazing thing to be able to push a button, have it open. Again, I just think it's an important thing. We're all going to be seniors. We're going to be there at some point. It's an important thing that we allow them to live with dignity and respect. And again, and I literally just within the last week, I was in the parking lot and I saw a home health aide with somebody in a wheelchair and a walker, another person with a walker, going through the middle of the parking lot. It's just not right. And you have this beautiful area where you could walk behind Rocco's and everything, but you can't if you're in a wheelchair or a walker. And quite honestly, again, really simple things. You have a building with an elevator. It's difficult to get in the door. There's a ledge there, and again, it's probably over an inch, which doesn't make it accessible. In other words, you got to literally pull the wheelchair in backwards to go over that. So again, just throwing it out there. I think we owe it to our seniors to really keep that in mind. Now, I did look into what's being developed for the AMP. Look, I know the whole affordable housing thing and everything like that is a difficult situation for all the towns. But I don't see anything in there addressing accessibility for seniors. And I think it's super, super important that we again, give our seniors an opportunity to live in these, nice homes and be able to have some accessibility. Again, I thank you, Patricia, it took me a while to find out that we were supposed to have 7 affordable homes as part of Station Square. It turned out the 2 that I was looking at for my mom and dad, and then just my mom after my dad passed, I didn't find out that the 2 ground floor ones were already spoken for. I missed the opportunity to put my parents, and now my mom, on a list for affordable housing because I was banking on that, waiting for that to come out, and then it came out and there were only 5. Those 2 were spoken for. God bless the people that are there, and with ARC, I really would have loved to have known that sooner, because that didn't give me an opportunity to get my mom on another list. She's currently on a list for affordable housing at Fanwood Crossing. She's 29th on the list as of February. She's 29th on the list as of this month. She's 89 years old. It's never going to happen. And so we as a family are going to have to make do. We're going to, figure it out. And it's not really speaking for my mom at this point. It's speaking for the next person who ages into this situation, the next person who wants to bring their parents to town. Let's try to make things better for them. And that's basically it. And one other small thing, because you do have me down on the green team, right? So I could speak to this?
Did you answer?
What's that?
Did you answer?
I thought I did, yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
I definitely want to be on the green
Want to
team.
be on it, I'll tell her. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I thought I sent you an email, but anyway, at the apartment complex, there's not recycling, which surprised me. So I actually, on my own, I just contacted the people who pick up the garbage. I think it's
Which apartment complex are you talking about?
Fanwood Crossing.
They all have recycling,
Yes,
they're all
they do.
supposed to have recycling there,
the law.
recycling bins.
Now, again, I'm just based on, we have a chute that we send the garbage through. That's it.
All the building landlords and owners they're responsible for having
So-
recycling made available to all the
I'm
residents.
not, again, I just don't know if we're allowed to use the one that the stores are using that's out in the middle of the parking lot. Again, that would be really,
If there's no recycling
Problematic.
there, then that's the responsibility of the landlord. The law says they have to make
yeah,
it
that's-
responsible.
again,
And
that's
if
why
not, then-
I'm just bringing it forward that
Okay.
these are things that are invisible unless you live it on the inside. I'm a nut job when it comes to recycling, so you'll see me walking through Fanwood Crossing with my empty bottles, bringing it home, throwing it in my blue bin. So again, it's just something that it's odd. I did talk to the hauler. He does do separating, so I don't know if that's the deal that they made. He does do separating, but I know a lot about recycling. You
Yeah, well,
don't net it out.
We can make an
so-
inquiry with,
so-
that's a lead, right?
Elite Properties.
So we'll make an inquiry with, they're supposed to make available to all the residents, and it's supposed to be clearly posted that they have to recycle and where they're supposed to recycle. And if that's not clear, we'll make sure they make it clear.
Okay.
Because it's
And-
the law.
And again, one other small thing, and this is just because I was concerned when I moved in. We didn't have a carbon monoxide detector in the apartment. They have them in the hallway, and I wish the fire chief were still here, because I kind of thought it was supposed to be automatic, that it's in.
Are you sure it's not a smoke detector and fire, and
Positive.
carbon monoxide?
Positive, because it took me about a month and a half to get them to come and bring one
I'm
for
sure
me.
that building is up to fire code, I just don't know what the fire code is about CO detectors.
Yeah, and that's what I'd like to, because I'm concerned that if I had to ask for it, again, not just, I'm there for my mom to look for these things about that aren't right, but who's there for the person in the next apartment who may not have a carbon monoxide detector? And again, it would make the town look really bad if something unforeseen happened. You literally have a gas furnace in your apartment. It's not like it's outside your apartment. It's in your apartment. It's in my mom's case, it's in a walk-in closet attached to her bedroom. I think it's real important. So again, those are just some of the things.
Can I just interrupt for a second, because most of the issues you're naming that your mother is having in her particular apartment building is an apartment building that is privately owned and
Oh, yeah,
managed
absolutely.
by a company, and so if there are issues with CO2 detectors, the fire department can respond to that. And again, the property owner and the property management are responsible for making sure that that's up to code. We can't, as a council, go into that facility and correct that. That has to be.
Oh, I know that, but
Okay.
essentially, I think, again, just my thought process on this, it's not a bad thing. In between rentals, maybe an inspection before the next person comes in to make sure things are up to code. I don't know how that gets handled. Again, just speaking for the next person, I'm there for my mom. Somebody's not gonna necessarily have somebody like me looking out for them, and something might get missed. And again, I think it'll make the town look bad if that happens, that's all. So it's strictly a concern for the seniors in town. The other thing regarding recycling is, are we going to dual stream, or are we?
No, at this point, we're gonna stay with everything the way it is, right, Fred?
Yes.
Everything the way it is right now is gonna stay that way.
Okay, so that's good, that's gonna be for the next year, or are we gonna lock
Going
it in for a year?
into, yes, at least for 2020, right? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very good. That's it, thanks. Oh,
Let me-
one more small thing. Parking at Fanwood Crossing. My mom needed help with her thermostat the other day, so I came home at lunch. There was literally 4 empty parking spaces in the entire thing. She's got the top floor. I could look out and see there's almost no parking. If we want to encourage business and people to use those businesses in town, we've got to figure that out. Because there's no, and I've heard from a number of people who are deciding to go to Westfield for better parking and go to their stores.
Really?
That's
That's pretty funny, actually.
I'm just telling you, that's what I'm being told, that they don't even bother because they
We've
can't.
heard,
they
we've
can't find
heard
a spot.
quite the contrary.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's a
Let,
riot,
let me
actually.
let me touch on the affordable housing components that you were
Yep.
speaking about. So, for about 5 council meetings straight, not long ago, Liz Jeffries, who's our economic development liaison, worked with the developers, worked with council, and we worked diligently to post on our Fanwood website the pertinent information. Not only that, there were copious discussions that went on, again, over the course of 5 or 6 council meetings. And the same way you've been present at the council meeting in the last 2 leading up to the elections, we ask you to come after November 5th, after the
good.
elections are done.
I will be here.
Make yourself present,
Yeah.
like this gentleman is on a regular basis, and bring any of those questions or concerns as they may present themselves.
Yes.
Because then what happens is, many of those concerns or questions will be answered during the course of regular business. So I understand you have a laundry list of what you may consider issues you want to bring to light in light of the election period, but this just isn't the place for it. This just isn't the place for it, all right? But anytime you want to come in, open, have a discussion, but come in with information that may have already been presented and say, I have questions about this, or say I just didn't see it. But to say that it doesn't exist or it hasn't happened, I don't think that's fair.
I'm not sure what you're saying.
I don't think it's fair.
It didn't happen.
When it
Well,
comes to the
information about
affordable housing
was
units, when
posted
it,
publicly for many months
Many months.
prior to the drawing. It was posted on the
Yeah,
Fanwood
I
website.
could still find websites that say there's 7 affordable housing units that are gonna be available, and there turned out to be only 5, and they were on the 2nd and 3rd floor, which disqualified my mom, who can't go upstairs. That's all. And again, God bless the people that have those, they need them too. But I'm just saying, it would have been good to know sooner, and it took me close to 2 weeks. I contacted the builder, I contacted the people who, from affordable housing,
let me say
and they
again.
didn't know anything about those
Let
other
me
2
say again,
units.
over the course of 5 or 6 council meetings, we discussed it. And your sooner would have absolutely been, if you had been present, or watch on television, streaming, Facebook, the website, our Fanwood channel. The meetings are being telecast on our Fanwood channel. And you would see that we indeed, in fact, because I was one of the larger proponents or advocates of it, to make sure that it absolutely did happen. And it happened. This council worked diligently to assure that everything was met in Station Square and all the projects. I'm also on the planning board, so some of the issues you spoke about are planning issues also, and the planning board works diligently also with every agency within the township to make sure codes are met and complied with. I don't know every code, of course, but we have a tremendous township engineer who knows a lot. I don't, but at the same time, we work as a board and we move things forward for the good of Fanwood and our
Okay.
residents.
Can we talk offline? Just
Oh, absolutely.
At some point, like after?
Yes,
That
absolutely.
would be great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mr. Morris. Anybody else from the gallery that wish to speak? Seeing that nobody else has anything else to say, do I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Before we adjourn the meeting, I'd like to go around to see if any of our council members.
No
Tom, we
council,
can't tonight?
no council comments.
No council comments.
I'm sorry?
No council comments.
Oh, right, okay.
No council comments.
No council comments. I knew that, too. In that case, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming. And thanks for your
No-
patience.
No executive session.
Okay.
Kathy, how much you pick me up for? Just tell me
I
now.
don't know, I put in $20.
All right, I'll-
Whatever